Hi, I'm Alexander Maxim from Ethiopian.io. Today we will check the jQuery effects. The first part show, hide, toggle, fade in, fade out, and fade toggle effects. I have created a navbar with 4 elements: home, service, sign up, and contact, and also an input with 2 buttons: go and advanced search. I have in my navbar elements div with the class left side. This class has an order list or contains an order list with 4 list items. The first has the class active, this class with this background, with this green background. Also, the second item with the service class, I need this class to slide or to show the list. Then I have the sign up and the contact. After that, I have the right side div or class. Inside, I have also the input and 2 buttons. With the search advanced, we have 3 inputs: project ID, project name, project price. When we click on advanced search, the div will be shown. And I have another list with the class second list. When I keep the mouse on the service item, the list will be shown. This is what we will do for by these effects. In the style.css file, I have some properties for the elements. For example, for the body, a margin 0; for the navbar, background; for the left side, the float left, width. Also for all the elements like margin, background, text decoration, none for the A element, and inline block for the list items, list style none for the another list, etc. Some properties to get this design. In my plugin.js file, I will use the first effect, which is the show effect. Is a method sets the display properties of elements whatever they initially were, typically a block on inline or inline block. Before the inline style display, none was applied to them. This is the show method. Let's apply the show method in the advanced search div. So when we click on advanced search, let's take firstly the advanced search class. This is the class. We will select this class, and when we click, I will do a function. By this function, I will use the show effect, but firstly I will add a comment to organize the code. This is the show effect. And now when we click on this button, I will add an active class. For example, I will select this button, add class active button, for example, and we will now test if this button has the class active button. So if it has this class, we will show this div by this class here, search adv, search advanced, and we will use the dots to signify that it's a class. I will show it by the show method. The show method, or all the effects method, we firstly must select the element. I will use a comment. Firstly, select the element, then I will use the effect method. The effect method has two parameters. The first is the speed. The speed, we have three choices. The first is the word fast, like that, fast. We have also slow, fast to be very fast, slow to be slow, and you can also type a number of milliseconds. For example, 1000 milliseconds, it means in 1 second. This effect will be applied in 1 second. Or for example, 500 milliseconds. This is the default value. 400 milliseconds. This is the default value. If you want to change the default value, you must just write, for example, 600 milliseconds. It will be more fast than or more slowly than the default value. And it has also a callback function. For example, when the effect has finished, you can do something, for example, to show a div, to show an alert, to do something for this effect. This is a function like that. This is the statement or the instruction to write an or to use an effect. So we have the speed. For example, I will, for example, type 5000 milliseconds. I will show the result. I will open the inspect elements and select the advanced search. When we click on advanced search, see here all the elements will be from 0 to the default width, and the display will be black. I will reload and see. No, the display is none, as you see here. Display is none. When we click, the display will be black. I will reload again. Advanced search, see the height, the width, the padding, all the elements, the margin, all the elements change to be in this form. This is the show effect. And now let's apply, or before that, we have now the advanced search. Let's change the button to simple search to return to the default. I will firstly minimize it, and I will use this, the button .html, to set the text of this button to simple search, to return to the simple search with only one input. And I will hide the simple input. Let's take this class and use the hide method in 1000 milliseconds or 1 second. Let's now click on advanced search. This is what happens. Now we have a button simple search, but firstly, to test if the button is in a simple search, because the click event contains the two actions. So to see if our element in the display block or display none, we will add a class, as I added here, active button. If it's in active button, so the search advanced is now with the display block. But if we are in, for example, another class, or we will remove this class. If we haven't this class, this button hasn't the class active button, we are in the display none and we should display these elements. This is the idea. This is why I'm using add class. So I will just else if, or else it's this value will be no, it's true, else I mean in the false value. I will hide this element. I will firstly hide the search advanced because we haven't the active button, and I will return it to advanced search, and I will show this input unexpected place space. Great. Now I will reload and see if we click on the advanced search, we will hide the first input and show the advanced search. And when we click on simple search, if it has, so firstly I will see active button. So if this has the class active button, else if no, it's not add class but toggle class. Toggle class when we click the first. So let's see the difference between add and toggle. This is our classes for the button. The advanced search, this is the class. When we click, we have two classes, the advanced search and active button, and when we click again we have just advanced search. But if we use the add class, it will just add the class, but the toggle, it will add and remove the class. When we click the first time, it will add the active button. When we click again, it will remove it, and when we click again, it will add this class. This is the toggle class. And now let's reload and see the effect. When we click, the input will be shown. This advanced search will be shown, and the first input will be hidden. And when we click again, it will be this. It will return to display none. This is the hide and show effects. The hide is the same thing for the show. It will set the display property to none, and the show, it will return the display property to inline or inline block or something like that for the default elements. So now we will use the toggle effect. But firstly, what's the toggle effect? The jQuery toggle method show or hide the elements in such a way that if the element is initially displayed, it will be hidden. If hidden, it will be displayed. This is the toggle as the toggle class. The same idea. I will so add a comment for all this what we have done, and I will use the toggle for the advanced search. We'll use all of this, or I will I'll copy this from here, and when we click on the button function, when we click on the button, I will do the same thing, but here I will use the search advanced, and I will toggle it. I will use the toggle method in, for example, 5000 milliseconds or 5 seconds. I will see the result, advanced search in 5 seconds, and I will click again, it will be displayed. This is the toggle effect, but we must change the name of or the text of the button. Let's firstly use the input, this input. Let's toggle it, for example, in 1000 in 1 second. When it's no this input, it's no display. Let's see, for the input, it's no display inline, and the advanced search is display none. When we click this search advanced, it will be display block, and our input, it will be display none. This is the toggle. If the element is not displayed, it will be hidden. If hidden, it will be displayed. This is the toggle effect. Let's now test by the display element to change the text of the button. So if the search advanced no dot css, I will get the display value is equals to block. If it equals to block, so what means if equals to block? Now the advanced search is equals to block, so it's no we have our advanced search. If it's block, I will change it to simple search to return to the default search. I will use this button and change the HTML to simple search. And let's reload and see. Missing, yeah, it's if a condition. Let's advanced search, and we have now the simple search. So else I will change it to advanced search. Great. Now when we click, we have the simple search, and when we click again, the button will be so in the advanced search. This is the show hide toggle. Now let's explain the fade in, fade out, and fade toggle. Let's start with the fade in. The fade in function of the jQuery framework makes it possible to display an element of set of elements that are invisible to the user. It will give a progression effect by modifying the opacity when displaying this element. This is the fade in. Let's do an example for this effect. Let's add a comment for the fade in effect. This is the show, let's see, and hide effects, and here fade in. Let's see, fade in. Great. I will fade this. I will firstly show the second list. I will remove the display none. This is the second list. I will fade, or I will show it. The show is to change the display to block or to inline block or something like that, and the hide is to change the display is display to hide. This is the show and hide effects. But the fade in, fade out, fade toggle, it uses the opacity. It changes the opacity from 0 to 1 and from 1 to 0. This is the fade in. Let's firstly return to the default form, and I will select the service class, this item. I will select this item and fade service. When we make the mouse enter this event, I will do a function. I will show or fade in this second list. I will use the second list class and fade in for example 5 seconds to see the opacity. Here, if mouse enter from the service, mouse enter function, the second list will be shown. This is the code. So let's firstly see the second list. Display is none, and when there is an error. Let's see service, this class, mouse enter function, second list. Let's firstly console.log hi, see where is the error. What? Fade, fade in. It's not. I have an error in. And now, great. I will use. I will select my second list and see. I will reload, and this is. So I will see the second list, and when I make the cursor on the service, this is the result. See here for the element style what happens. See the opacity from 0 to 1, and the display will be blocked. This is the result of fade in. Fade out from 0 to from 1 to 0. But firstly, let's add another thing to be more beauty. For this, I will add a class active like that. Great. And I will set the value to 1 like that. Great. We have web design, design applications, and Photoshop design, for example. And when we leave from the service, I will fade out hide or fade out the list. When the mouse leave, I will fade out and remove the active class, active class. So when we enter and when we leave, I will just add another 0 to be 10 seconds and see when we leave. This is the opacity from 1 to 0 to be, and the display will be none. This is the fade in effect. Great. We have also the FadeToggle effect. I will add a comment for all of them. Here I will add another comment to toggle effect. And the same thing for FadeToggle effect. For the FadeToggle effect, I will use the click event. So let's take this class and use the click event with a function. Then I will fade toggle the second list. I will fade toggle, and after the fade toggle, for example, I will add the fast and a function. This function I will print something, for example, console log toggle. And let's reload and see. When we click, this is toggle, and when we click again, click again, it will be fade in and fade out. I will for example modify the speed to for example 10 seconds, like that, and see the results in the elements second list. It will be from 0 to 1, the same thing, because it's fade in effect, and when we click again, it will be from 1 to 0. This is the fade in, fade out, show, hide, fade toggle, and the toggle effects. I hope that you understand all what I did for today. Thank you for your watching, and have a great day.